guys, welcome to my next video of ActivInspire videos. I'm going to show you a few things today, and I'm sorry if I'm repeating myself, but I've done so much that I can't remember everything I've done. So we're going to start off doing math tools today. So they're under tools, math tools. We have the ruler, which you can move this way. You can hover over till your arrow is curved, and you can switch it this way. You're going to have to move it back over. And if you notice here and here, it tells you the degrees that it's turned. So I'm going to make it perfect because I don't like my rulers crooked like that. You can also extend it or make it shorter. And that's pretty much it. The next math tool that we have is a set square, which again you can do the same thing. And you can make it bigger. Alright, so now I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. We have the protractor. I believe, yes, the protractor. Same sort of deal. I'm going to go ahead and move on to the next one. You guys know how to do the protractor. We have the compass. The compass is my favorite. I know it's not part of the first grade curriculum, but I think it's so much fun. So I'm going to go ahead and kind of resize this here. There we go. And then when you hover over the bottom of the pencil, you can see my arrow turn to a pen. Click on it, and then make your circle. I just think that's a ton of fun. I would sit here all day and do that. Same thing with the students, I'm sure. I'm going to go ahead and move to my next one. We have XY origin, which I'm not too familiar with, so I'm kind of going to play around with it. It's probably for grids and stuff like that. We also have the dice roller, which I think I've showed you before, where you can change the number of dice and the speed at which they are going. You can output it to the flip chart as well. We have the calculator, pretty much self-explanatory on how to use the calculator there. Alright, so that's the math tool. The next thing I'm going to show you is a pretty cool trick. Let me change the background color here. Okay, so let's say you have a background and you have an image on it, like, I'm going to do a sign. Let's see, here we go. And let's say you don't want this to be white, you want it to be yellow like your background. So what you do is you select your image, you go to the property browser, and you go down to miscellaneous. The pick through needs to be true. Transparent should also be true. And for color, select your dropper, and then click on the white part. And voila, it changes to the background color. It does not work on every object. I will show you an example. I'm going to go back to my macaw. And we'll resize that just a little bit. So I've selected my image. Go into my property browser. Pick through true. Go to my dropper. And it does not turn everything yellow. So like I said, it works on some things, but it does not work on everything. Technology is not perfect. The other thing I want to show you is how to make sticky notes like this, where you can just drag a copy of an image where your kids can perhaps write all over it. So what we're going to do is reset my page. And I'm going to make a shape let's say you want your sticky notes to be star-shaped. And make them yellow. And just make your image however big you want it. Move it to the location of your choice and select it. And I'm going to do two things. First thing I'm going to go to is container. And we're going to say can contain anything. Because if your students are writing on these sticky notes and you want to move them and or resize them, you want their writing to stay on that sticky note. The other thing you're going to do is go down to miscellaneous, drag a copy should be true. So now I can drag sticky notes. I can write it all over my sticky note. And then I can move my sticky note again. I can even make it bigger or smaller. You can see my text gets bigger or smaller with it. And you want to make sure if your students are doing this, they drag the image first and then write on it. Because if they write on the original one and then they move it, look what happens. The writing's going to be on all of it. So you want to be careful with that. What else is on my list? I think that's everything for tonight. Oh, I can show you one miscellaneous thing. I'll get to Promethean Planet in the next video, I promise. So I'm going to go to teacherspaidteachers.com, one of my absolute favorite places to be. And let's say I'm looking for an activity. Okay, here we go. So let's say you find something on teacherspaidteachers.com or Teacher's Notebook, and the file is a smartboard lesson, and it saves as a notebook, a smartboard file. I'm going to show you a way that you can still use it in ActivInspire. So let me reset my page. You're going to go to File, Import, Smart Notebook File, find your file, click on Open, and it shows up in your flip chart. So the thing that I've noticed when I've done that is that it doesn't have page notes. So if you do something like a smartboard notebook file that you're importing, you're going to want to go through it. You might want to make your own notes, and that way you know exactly what you're supposed to do. Also, if it's a container activity like this is and you want it to bounce back, which I'll show you in another video, I promise it's going to be really soon, then you're going to want to go through and make those changes. So that was really easy. I saved the file, then I went to import and smart notebook file. I selected it, and then it came into my flip chart, my ActivInspire flip chart. So that's all for tonight. I do have a couple more videos I'm going to be making you. I promise to do Promethean Planet, as well as container activities and Magic Ink. Thanks, and I'll see you later.